Hi there, I'm the biker Hippo, and this is my first bike review. I wanted to do it with it not raining, but unfortunately the rain's caught me out today and I'm running out of time. So my bike review, I'm shaking a bit there, sorry about that. My bike review is on a Chinese bike, and it is a Sinis. I took a long time looking around to decide what bike I wanted, and I wanted a brand new bike. Couldn't afford the Japanese brand new bikes, so I've gone for a Chinese. I've heard and have seen the fact that Chinese bikes have got much better over the last few years, and Sinis are a very good distributor of these Chinese bikes, and so far I've been looked after very well, even though I've only had the bike approximately 8 weeks. So this is the Hoodlum, it's a 125. I have not passed my bike test yet, so I'm on L plates. I took my CBT just before I bought the bike. I'm a mature gentleman, always wanted to drive bikes, did when I was younger, never got round to taking my test. Basically what happened was I basically got company cars, got into selling, repping, and had company cars all my life, so I didn't think I needed a bike. But on my bucket list, one of the things I want to do is basically do Route 66 on a motorbike, so I decided to get back into biking. And I thought a good way of doing that is get a 125, get used to riding again, and then hopefully this time next year I would have passed my bike test with direct access. But for now, someone's beeping, just doing this. Speak to you in a minute. Yeah, so, don't know who that is. Yeah, so for now, I'm practicing on this bike. There are only 2 extras I bought. You can see these are mounts. I bought this mount here. This is for my phone holder, and I bought this mount here for the camera. Oh, the other thing I did buy was this back bag. You do find there's no where to put stuff on this bike, and that bag comes in really handy. It's for a bicycle, but it fits really nicely on the back there. That's where the number plate is. Obviously I've just covered up the number plate, don't want to flash it around to everyone. Now this bike, it does look bigger than what it is, but most of this here, like this here, looks nice. It makes it look like a bigger engine, but it's just plastic. Just a plastic cover, nothing underneath that at all. These are big plastic covers for the horns, but it does make the bike look so much bigger. So being a big guy, when I'm on it, I don't look too big, because the bike looks quite big, which it did obviously attract me to the bike. It does look bigger than your normal 125. I also did try some supermotos, and I decided that for me and my age, this had the best riding position for me. It was very comfortable. I've got a bit of a tummy, and obviously you're not dangling yourself over the tank like you do on the sports bikes. You're sitting upright, and it's got a really nice, let me just turn this back on, right there. It's got really nice footrest there, and that's your back brake. It's got dual braking, so the back brake also, when you put it on, it does affect the front brake as well. It uses part of the front brake at the same time, which I find is very good. Right, so just a little bit about the bike. It's obviously a 4-stroke 125. In fact, it's a 124cc, 124cc, air cooled. It's EFI, so it's fuel injected. That's for the Euro 4 rules now, and it's overhead camshaft. Obviously it's only 11 brake horsepower, which is just over about 8 kilowatts. 5 speed, that's the obviously footrest, and there's your gears, that's the gear shift. 5 speed manual clutch, obviously the clutch is on this side. All you are watching this, I'm sure you've got bikes, so you know, and obviously your back brakes on that side. That's your handle there. Right, so as you can see there, it's fuel capacity. The tank's one of those pear drop shapes. It's 13.5 litres. The bike is quite heavy, it's 140 kilos, but bearing in mind I weigh 130, I weigh nearly the same much as the bike. So the power to weight ratio is quite reduced with me on it. The seat height is quite low, it's 730. You still sitting higher than cars, but compared to most bikes you're sitting obviously like a cruiser style, much lower. You can see here it's got a analog and digital display. The analog shows at the top it's got bigger for kph, but underneath, which is still quite clear, you've got your miles per hour, which is clear enough to read as you're driving along. You can see down here there's lights. It goes neutral, then it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The neutral's in green and the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5's in red. That's really useful, I find, because you haven't got a rev counter on this, and it does come in handy, especially when you're new and learning what gear you're in. Obviously, once you experience, you soon know your gears, going by obviously the sound of the engine and the revs. But I'm finding it very useful. The only problem with it is at the summertime, when the sun's on it, you can't see it very well. The red doesn't show up very well. You have to literally look over it to see, so you have to be careful when you're looking over it, that you're also making sure that you're looking in front of you and seeing where you're riding. So yeah, analog. What else? Front is, as you can see, it's telescopic, normal way round. So telescopic forks. You've got your right at the back. It's rear spring, core spring, and as you can see, it's adjustable. So that's handy. The front's not adjustable, but the back is. Your front brakes, as you can see there, they've got triple piston, and on this version, the older version had drum back brakes. This one hasn't. This has got disc back brakes as well, so it's got disc back and front, which is useful. So what I'm going to quickly do, hang on a sec. Right, front tyre is 90. Let me show you 90. So it's not teeny weeny. Obviously they've done it like the cruiser style, so they've made it a little bit bigger than some of the normal 125 bikes. So 90 is not a bad size. I could do it really bigger, but it helps the handling, not having it too big at the front. And then at the back, you can see you've got your 130 tyre, which is a nice size. Now these are Chinese tyres, and I've had lots of warnings about Chinese tyres. I only ride it in the dry, to be honest, and I've had no problems in the dry, apart from potholes. The UK is covered in potholes. Remember when I was younger, I used to, when I went abroad, I used to laugh when I brought all the potholes and how good the UK is. It swapped round. When I go abroad now, I find there's less potholes than there is in the UK. So I don't know what we're doing with all the tax and that we pay. Why the roads aren't getting repaired, but for a bike it's a nightmare. I've actually nearly come off twice, and the 2 times I've nearly come off have both been down to massive big potholes. Very dangerous. Look out, guys. Very, and girls, look out. They are one of the easiest ways to come off your bike is by hitting a pothole. Right, so handlebar width, as you can see, it's about 890 millimeters. The handlebar width, cruiser style there again. I do like that sort of up and down sort of, you know, nice riding position. It's a very nice riding position. Put your hands. It's not too high, not too low. I like it. Right, what else about the bike? It's basically, well, I mean, the length, it's just over 2 meters, 2.1 meters. The width, obviously, the handlebars is the biggest width, which is, like I said, 190, and the height, or the seat height, is 730. But I think if you take the handlebars in, it goes up. You know, if you take that up to the handlebars, the height's about just over 1 meter, 1.1 meters. Now this bike is unrestricted, the actual engine, but like I said, it's not powerful. Where it does get to restricted is the exhaust. Now on these bikes are very quiet, so it doesn't make the noise I would like it to make. It does sound a bit like a lawnmower engine, or should I say sewing machine. And I've heard other reports about the exhaust. I don't think it looks too bad. I mean, it's not great, but I think it suits the bike. I could do it with a little bit noisier, which is a shame. It's not a little bit noisier, but there you go. You can't have everything. I wish I could, but I could always change it later on. But at the moment, I'm going to keep it under the warranty, obviously. Right, so the brake control, foot and hand, and obviously the front is hand and the foot is rear. Like I said, when you do the rear brake, it also affects the front as well. So you've got dual braking, which is really handy. It's got it says the miles per gallon is over 100, but to be honest with you, I'm getting about 75, just over 75 miles a gallon on it. It's got a 2-year warranty. With the warranty, basically, what they say is the first year it's parts and labour, and the second year it's parts only. So it's not too bad. I've had no problems yet. I'll keep it in the garage, so it's nice to keep it dry. As you can hear, it's a horrible evening today, the day I want to do the review, which is a shame. Let me just do something. Right, so I'm just doing that so I can see at the back what I'm aiming at. Right, so what I like about the bike, I mean, I like the look, I love the riding position. You see the back lights look good. It's got basically there, that's the white light that shines up onto the number plate. The back light LED, so they're going to last a long time, and so's that white light, that's LED. Your indicators, you can see there, they're LED. They look white there, but when they're wrong, LED. The front ones, obviously, they're again all the same, LED. And they look really nice. This front light is used as a standard bulb. I might change it because it's not really that bright. But I don't tend to go out much at night. But if I do start, I will probably get a brighter bulb. And basically, as you can see there, it's got an analogue and digital display. So the analogue's got kph, I think I mentioned before at the top, and then underneath it's got you can see it okay, it's miles per hour. On the digital, it tells you your fuel, what fuel you've got left, and what else does that digital do? Oh, it tells you if you need once you need the maintenance done. So if you want any maintenance, you know, the maintenance light will come up. It will start flashing maintenance, but it's really for your fuel gauge there, which is very useful, and it seems to be quite accurate. Right, on this side you've got your engine stop. That light switch now, because of the new EU rules, the lights are on all the time, so that doesn't work, doesn't do anything. Underneath there's your engine start, and that's your emergency, obviously, stop. And then you've got around here, you've got your horn, you've got your indicator. Yeah, it's the indicator left, obviously left or right, and you push it to stop it. And then you've got your normal beam and full beam. This has also got hazard warning lights as well. So that button is for your hazard warning lights. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so yeah. What do I think? Obviously I could do with more power, but as I'm learning at the moment, I think it's enough. I think if you had too much power when you're a novice, I think you could end up getting into trouble. So I think it's a good way to learn by not having too much power. It's enough to get me, I'm a heavy guy. I would say it says on there to do 65 unrestricted. It has said 65 on the clock with me, which was on a dual carriageway national speed limit, so I could have done 70, and it was said 65 on the clock, so it can actually do that. It was saying just over 65. I don't know how accurate the clock was, but as soon as you get to a hill, with my weight, it does slow down. So just going along a normal straight, I think you will find this bike will do about, I would say, between 55. With someone my sort of size on it, I'm 20 stone, it would do about 55 along a straight road to 60, no problem. I will keep it 55 if you want to cruise, and that shouldn't be a problem. 55 miles an hour with a 20 stone guy on it. If you're lighter, you could probably cruise at 60, but my sort of weight. But like I said, bear in mind, if you get a strong wind against you, that will slow you down, and any hills, you know, slight hills will slow you down as well. But there on the other side, if you're going down a hill, obviously it will speed up, and someone heavy as well, you know, it can speed up. But for cruising along, I would say 50 to 55, no problem. Generally, I like the style of the bike. It's got spokes. Some of the other bikes now are alloy wheels. This is spokes, which I think just keeps it in the cruiser sort of style and tradition. I'm generally really happy with it. Like I say, I've had it 8 weeks, and so far I've been really happy. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go out in it when it stops raining, and I'll do a little film with it, with me going out in it. Let me just start it up, and you can hear the noise. It's an electric start. There's no kick start on this. Now, on the footrest, you will find on the side one there, that's a cut off. See that? So you push that up, that turns the cut-off switch. There's a cut-off there. That turns it back on. So now the bike's on, and you heard that noise. That's the fuel injector. It is a little bit noisy, but I don't care about that. You see the neutral light on now. So, and we start it up. I'll start the button here. Look at that. Now I haven't started this for 3 days. Started first time. Once the bike's set up, fuel injection, you can't go wrong. You shouldn't have any problems. Just be careful you don't knock that switch though. It's happened a few times. I've knocked that off and didn't realise. Tried to start it, not realising that was off. And I thought, oh no, what can you do? Because there's no obviously choke or carburettor to adjust. So you're buggered. But that's normally the problem. You've accidentally knocked that into the off position like this. And now it won't start. It won't start at all until that switch back on. So watch that. That can catch you out like it did me. Now you hear it come back on now. That's the fuel injector coming back in. And start again. Look at that. So it doesn't sound too bad. But it sounds like a 125 still. It hasn't got that throaty burble like the bigger engines have. So like I say, thanks for listening to me, if you're still there, and I will take this out for a little spin later on and film it. Speak to you soon. Bye bye. And that's the Biker Hippo signing off.